Hello, everybody. We are live right now on the Socialpreneur Facebook page. As you know, I'm Shonda Brooks. I am the Socialpreneur, and I'm so excited for today's episode, which is Lady Boss. And I have some beautiful lady bosses on the show with me today, and I'm so excited to have them. Hopefully, you are all watching live right now, and you're ready to ask questions. Later, I will prompt for them, and you guys can jump on and ask a question for these beautiful ladies when the time comes. But right now, we're going to jump into the interview and talk to these women about how they started their companies, why they started, and maybe motivate some of you women to get up and be an entrepreneur yourself. Okay? So thank you, ladies, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
I am here at Catalyst Real Estate, new offices.
Yes.
Right? And we are in Stockton, California. So can you just jump and tell us, Constance, about you? You have the microphone. You pass the microphone to her.
My name is Constance Carter. I'm sorry. Nobody works harder than Constance Carter. I'm O in the overcoming obstacles with the three of us.
I am Tanasha Brown, and I am the N, never giving up.
Hello, and I'm Sheila Green, and I am the E on the road to having your best year ever.
Okay, can you guys, somebody tell us what the one is and why the one was started?
So the one is symbolic of not only the unity that the three of us have together, but also the life that we have, how we became entrepreneurs, and how we've actually grown to be where we are. So the O in one, like we said, is overcoming obstacles by never giving up on your road to your best year ever. And the way it started is we were having a conversation, and we talked about how our agents at our real estate brokerages didn't really have an idea of how we got where we are, how we became who we are, and the struggles that we had. So we've gone through a lot, and we were talking about how they're ordinary people and extraordinary. And the difference is we've all overcome some really amazing obstacles. And the reason we were able to overcome those is because we would never give up. And we were always striving to make every year better and better and better. And through a conversation and through us just wanting to kind of explain to other people what we've gone through, the book was birthed. And we just, all of a sudden, it wasn't something that we had planned, but overnight, it was just like a conversation. And next thing you know, we're in the middle of writing a book.
Wow.
And we were telling our stories. And at the end of the day, what we realized is that everyone has a backstory.
Right.
But our story is not for us, it's for someone else. And it can help someone else to achieve their dreams.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. Everybody has a backstory, and your backstory is your purpose. That's what I've heard from people, right? You use that story to help other people. I love it. I love it. So all three of these women, you own your own real estate companies, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's come back to Constance. And Constance, can you just tell me how you got started and why you jumped in to be an entrepreneur?
Well, the opportunity, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I always wanted to do something that was a help to somebody else. And so no matter what career I was in, so when I was in IT, it was like, okay, let me think about how I'm able to help. So I always had this mindset in how can this be a job where I'm helping others? Mm-hmm. And so when I bought my first house at 23, I became intrigued with real estate. And then I wanted to get my real estate license, and I ended up the opportunity of me getting laid off during the .com bubble because I was in those startups and I was working for those Fortune 100 companies. And I just started selling real estate. But then I think in 2006 is when I got my broker's license. Not because I wanted to have my own business, but it was really just something extra to get. And then it was like God said, okay, it's time for you to make a business around your core values, and that's really helping people. And not just about the transaction, not just about just closing, but really about really helping and being a transformational person. And so we created the business with that in mind. So that's why we've been so successful and able to just help so many people. It's been absolutely wonderful experience.
I fell into real estate Actually, my mother was a real estate agent, and I used to be her assistant. And I was a single mom with 2 boys and was looking for some part-time work. And my mom said, hey, come down and be the transaction coordinator. And then as I was the transaction coordinator, it was always like, hey, you should get your license. I was like, I'm not going to be driving those people around in my car wasting my gas. And then it was my husband and I, when we bought our first home, I had found the property. I didn't have the key to it. I got in through a window. Not supposed to do that. I did. Never giving up. But then by the time the transaction had closed, I completed all the paperwork, and I turned to my mom and I was like, so you're getting like over $18,000 here. How much of that are you going to be giving me? And she said, you're not licensed. I can't pay you any commission. And I was like, I'm about to get my license, and you'll never sell me another home again. And then it became like I really enjoyed real estate. And at that time, I was in a high-tech company in the Bay Area, and I was working part-time. And then like Constance, I decided, let me get my broker license just to have it, not so much like, hey, I want to open my own brokerage. Mm-hmm. And then after some time, realizing that I felt as though I'm just a natural leader within, that maybe I should step out on faith and do this full time. So 2005, I quit my full-time job at the high-tech company and stepped out on faith. And ever since then, it has just been a blessing, one after the other. And I think, too, for me, it was about helping others believe in themselves and realizing the value that they can bring, not only to their family, but within their communities, and realize that homeownership is an option. Mm-hmm. And I can go way back because I have stories where we were evicted. I grew up poor in New York, in the Bronx, and often, coming home and finding yourself on your parents haven't paid the rent, and here you are evicted. And now here I am actually selling houses and putting people in home. And so that's something that will never happen to me or my children. And so just doing it for leaving a legacy more so than anything.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Wow, great stories. So my story is slightly different. I actually was an IT manager for about 15 years, and I worked at UC Davis, and I went on to IBM. But while I was at UC Davis, I actually was, I was always the go-to person. Every time someone needed advice, real estate, even though I wasn't in real estate, I was connecting people with real estate agents and saying, this is what you need to do, save up money, helping people put together a plan, family members, friends. Mm-hmm. And I kept saying, I want to get in real estate. And I had reconstructive surgery on my foot. And I was in a wheelchair for 4 months. And I couldn't walk for 4 months. And during that time, I said, here's my opportunity to get my license. And I actually got my broker's license while I was in, the day that I got my cast off after 4 months, the next day I went down and took my exam. So I had completed all my courses, got my real estate license, absolutely loved it, but I would not give up my corporate job. Mm-hmm. And I kept saying, one day I'm going to own my own brokerage. One day I'm going to do this. I'm going to start my own real estate company. And what I did is I kept that, and I kept speaking that into existence. And while I was working at IBM, I got laid off. And I prayed, and I said, God, if it's meant for me to go back, open the doors at IBM, because I had other departments saying, hey, you can come back. Right. And I said, but if it's not, close the door. And the next day, I had a laptop with a thumb drive on it, or flash drive, had all of my IBM files, and I was putting some stuff together to possibly go to another department. And that laptop fell off the couch, and the thumb drive broke in half. And I said, I hear you. And I knew that God was speaking to me, saying, that is over. And at that point, and that was in 2012, I got my license in 2005, but in 2012, I decided to give up making all this, really good money and benefits. Oh gosh, tons of perks. Wow. But I said, this is what I enjoy. This is what I want to do. By 2013, I hooked up with these ladies, and we're like, all 3 of us are brokers, and we just started brainstorming. But for me, it was always about being able to connect people with the right resources to help people get into not into real estate, but to get into home ownership. Mm-hmm. So it was just something that was meant to be. But I will say, when I was at IBM, it was such a great experience. I remember saying, man, I had never worked for a company like this before. And I told a friend of mine, I said, I'm here, but I'm here temporarily because this is preparing me to be a better business owner. Yes. And that's exactly what it did.
Wow. Amazing stories, all 3 of them. Mm-hmm. So, but I see you guys have a sisterhood. right? You
Absolutely.
guys have each other's backs, right?
We do.
So when the drama or issues come up, you're on the phone,
Yeah.
right?
Sometimes at 3 a.m.
They team up against me.
Oh, so you're the baby.
I'm the baby,
right?
so
You're
they
the baby,
team up
so they
against
pick on you. Right?
We do, and we have to keep, because she's a baby, we have to keep her in check.
Yeah, I
We do, but we
know.
have to-
Let me tell you what just happened.
Okay,
This,
go ahead.
this
Go ahead.
happens. Can I say this?
This is symbolic of how we operate,
Mhm.
and we all need to stay in our lane. What happens is sometimes Constance does
Tell
not
the story,
stay.
girl.
No, you're going to tell the story, but
No.
she doesn't stay in her lane. And when she doesn't, this is what happens.
Actually, I'm the eldest. And I tend to let these two go at it, and then I
Oh,
step
heck
in.
no. No, that is not what happened.
Okay, but I'm going to let you tell the story
Tell
of
this
why
story.
we have to watch over you.
So we travel a lot together. And, oh God, I don't even want to tell. So
Tell me.
basically, what
We want to know, right? You guys want to know?
Let me
You
tell
guys
you
want to
what.
know what she's about to tell
Let me tell you what happened today, and this is indicative of what happens often.
today already?
Yeah, we just went down to the cafe.
You have no idea what the
Oh.
last 10 minutes were like.
Oh, go ahead. I have been fussing
Oh,
at
yeah.
her. I mean, we had to.
You heard us arguing about, did you not take my text? I wasn't
Oh,
supposed to
okay, I
text
heard that.
messages. So what had happened was, this happens often. I have no business scheduling my own flights or travel arrangements.
Okay.
It just shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I normally just give them the credit card. Yeah, or with the wrong date.
Wrong day.
So this happened last year. This happened actually a few times.
Yes.
So they were on me like, hey, did you what's your itinerary? Send us your itinerary. And they were texting, and I was busy, so I wasn't texting back. So finally, I said, okay, let me look through my phone for my itinerary. And so I did a search for my itinerary, and it passed.
Let me
What
explain.
time?
So we were.
Oh, the date passed.
Well, no, her no-show passed. So what happened? We were scheduled, and all three like May 4th and returning on May 7th. And we kept saying, send us your itinerary. We want to make sure
It's
we're
happening
landing
so
around
much.
the same time. Tanasha and I sent our itinerary. We're landing about 15 minutes apart. We're like, perfect. We go get our rental car. And we said, when are you landing? Where's your itinerary? Well, today, finally, after asking her for about 2 weeks, we make her pull it up on her phone.
In the cafe?
In the cafe, just right before this.
Okay.
And her flight out is April 4th, not May 4th. And so she gets the
But she
response.
is returning May 7th.
She's
So she's going to be there for a month.
For a month.
So this happened last year when we were going to, what were we going? To Florida?
We're going somewhere. No, we were going to Florida. So
I
messed
messed
up
up
DC
DC.
too.
I messed
yeah,
up.
she has a 3 times. So she gets this email from Southwest that says no show. And so with a no show, then you just forfeit your ticket and you don't even get to change your itinerary. So now when we finish this, we got to book her out, book her on her flight out. And if she had sent us the itinerary like we
I
had.
thought I did.
Right.
This is an example, ladies and gentlemen. We have to work within our
So we gotta
strengths.
work with the
And we
babies.
have to
With the babies.
we have to work within our strengths and stay in your lane. So if you're working with a group of women,
Yeah.
know what your strengths are. Know
I sent you my credit card, but you didn't book the flight. So I said, well, let me go ahead and book the flight.
because
Remember when I was in
we're
Florida?
finalizing it.
And I said, let me just go ahead and do it. I'm going to take initiative.
And this happens when you're not patient. Patience is a virtue.
So ladies, let me let the oldest speak a little bit. Tell me why it's important to have a sisterhood of women that have your back, right? That not give you a hard time.
Right.
We already know that. We know that.
Absolutely.
But that have your back when things get hard, when things get
Absolutely.
tough,
Yes.
you want to cry,
Yes.
you want to do something to somebody.
Mhm.
You want to hurt somebody.
Yes.
Well, you want to hurt somebody, or when you want to celebrate, right? You need somebody to pat your back and
And we do all that together.
Yes. I think our sisterhood is definitely, for one, it definitely keeps us on the right flights.
I don't cry either when we travel.
And
either.
she does not drive.
Absolutely.
She's Miss Daisy. She is baby all the way. But definitely, something Sheila had mentioned earlier, how we would come together and we would do like a broker power meeting, and we would help lift each other up when we were seeing differences in our businesses and saying, hey, this is what you should try and implement with your staff. This is where you need to focus so that you can help with projecting your growth. I think for us, it's not even just in business, it's also in personal life, because personally, if you're not uplifted, how are you going to function as a business?
Right.
So we are women, and everything looks vainglorious. We have hard times. Just this morning I was texting that my grandmother's in the hospital, and she was fussing about her IHOP breakfast, right? I'm like, there are things that are greater and important. I need you to set that aside, right? And so she's like, but the good thing about the sisterhood is that be okay with being put in check too at the same time. Now we're not disrespectful to one another, but we will have a coming to Jesus moment, for the Bible says. But I think just the love that we have for one another and the love that we want to see each other be very successful, no matter what.
And if I could just add to that, we have a ball. We travel all over the country together, and when we go from work, as soon as we get that hotel room, there's some unspeakable acts.
We need 30 more hangers.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. We already know.
That's number one. We call down.
We have at least 5 outfits per day because we have to, kind of know what we're going to be doing. But we have so much fun. We work hard, we play hard. So there are times, like they were just fussing at me for not responding to the text messages, because there are times when we all do that. Right. We're all like super laser focused, and we're just doing, grinding, and then we have to come back to each other, and we need each other. Right. Like we're what holds each other up. So we absolutely work hard, play hard, and that sisterhood is muy importante. I mean, that's what keeps us going. Yeah. When we want to give up.
Yeah.
And I would like to add just a little bit more, but there have been times when I'm under a lot of stress, I'm going through something, and just by my actions, maybe not responding to a text message or maybe even responding with a short message, that one of these ladies will pick up on that. I've had Tanasha call me and say,
very intuitive.
Yeah, very, very intuitive. But she's a big sis, so she'll call and say, hey, what's going on? It's almost like my spirit man is telling me to check in on you. And there have been times when we've all done that, between the three of us, and it's always at a time when we need it the most. It's almost like God is saying, hey, go. Hey, she needs you. Go call her. Yeah. And it has been it's almost like when someone needs you and you just need that one phone call. And I love that our sisterhood provides that.
I remember there was a time when I had said to you, I really need help. There was a time when I said to you, I really need to talk to Tanasha about something. And then I called Tanasha. Tanasha said, I really need to hear that. But God had spoke to me, and I had shared with you, and then I went to her, and you were like, you don't even know that was right on time. So there is that spiritual thing that we have.
Because I was like, well, you're talking about it. I can feel it. Each of you know to speak to me on the same topic for what I needed. But, then again, it's spiritually led, right? You're in tune to one another.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want to jump into this next question, which is about fear. And I think this is what holds back so many entrepreneurs, so many women, specifically that I work with. It's about taking that leap. And even for me, right? Even for me, taking a leap and going on my intuition, on my vision, and saying, even with my logo, my name, it was all my vision. And stop getting over what are people going to think, what are people going to say. I'm going to have those naysayers, those haters, those candlestick makers, all those people that have something to say. So tell us what your perspective is on fear, if it's like jumping right into something, and why that's important.
I'll give you my example. In addition to doing real estate, I have a business called Elite Prospect Zone, and it's helping student athletes get scholarships. And I remember just sitting there and watching all these student athletes that were really good, and they didn't even realize that they could go on to college. And I said, I'm going to start a sports recruiting business. And I had so many naysayers. I had people saying, there's a lot of competition out there. And there are people who are doing that already. Why are you doing it? You can't guarantee someone a scholarship. And I said, it's not about guaranteeing anything. It's about helping those who don't even realize that there are opportunities out there. Mm-hmm. So instead of listening to everyone, I decided I'm just going to do this. Yes. And I took the time and I started the business. I got it incorporated. I started hiring the resources I needed to run the business, to be able to put on workshops. And against all odds, against going up against huge companies have been doing it for years, mm-hmm. it became a very lucrative, very successful business. I still have it to this day. But what it was is that I said, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to stop it because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And until and you can't assume that everybody has all the answers or they have the resources they need. You can, even if I help one student, I'm helping a lot to me. I'm making a difference in someone's life.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just got to do it and not worry about, know your competition, but not let your competition stop you from doing what you got to do. And then differentiate yourself from the others. Do it in a way where you're adding value like no other person can or no other company.
I love that because you saw a need and you filled the need.
I sure did.
For me, I think personally, comparison and to your counterparts or those within the business, or comparison to others that are doing well, is just the theft of your joy, right? Because you can say, I'm not like them. Well, you're right. You are not like them. You are you. So you need to just worry about what the end in mind is. What is your goal for your business? What is your goal that you have set for yourself to be successful, and stay focused on that. It's okay to fail because you're going to fail. You need to fail because that's how you're going to learn. It's your first attempt in learning. That's what fail actually stands for, right? So you cannot give up. You have to stay focused on the prize. I know that sounds so cliche, but it is so true. And there are going to be those times in which you feel like giving up. I mean, you just going to be like, but that's when you have to have it's good to have a good support system. Right? So you get constant, girl, this is getting so hard. I don't even know if I can really do this. Right. No, yes, you can. And I think sometimes we have to get out of our head because we feed that negative voice.
You hear that, ladies? Yes. You hear that?
So get out of your own head. Get out of your own way, because at the end of the day, that's the person that's blocking you the most. Because one thing I know for me, how I am, somebody tell me no, I'm trying to figure out a way to make it happen. Yeah. Yes. No, it's next opportunity.
Okay.
Yes.
I say just do it.
Yeah.
Just like Nike says, just do it. I'm an executor. So I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody does. If there's an idea in my mind, look, if you go to my GoDaddy, I got about 100 domain names. You go there, you got about 14. Every time I think of a business idea, I'm going there. I'm waiting for somebody to offer me the highest amount of money. But every time I have a business idea, I just go in there and I'll reserve it, But I just say, just do it. Like I have a friend who wanted to be an author for years and was like, I just really want to write a book, but hadn't written anything on the page. Right. And when I wrote my first book, the Keeping Score book, I just had it in my mind. I think it was that week or the week before, and I said, I'm going to write a book. And the next week I wrote it because I just in one week. I finished it in about a month. I put the final touches on it about a month, but I had it in my mind one week. I sat down and wrote the bulk of it within about 9 hours.
She wrote a book in 1 month. Okay.
Yeah, and then
no excuses.
And it's an Amazon bestseller.
Hello.
No, but it's just about just taking action. And regardless of what, there are many people out there talking about credit repair or whatever, but here's my take on it. Here's what I've been able to do. And it's just my perspective. And it's okay. There could be 100 different perspectives. There could be 100 different people who are doing the exact same thing as you. What differentiates yourself from everybody else? But just do the damn thing. That's it. Just do it.
Okay, good. So my next question is about mentors and coaches. I know that I have a coach, and it's very important. I would not have, from starting my business in December and when we have April, it's moving faster than I can keep up with having a full-time job. So, but having the coach is so important. And then having mentors that I can bounce things off of. I couldn't do it without a coach or a mentor. Can you tell us the importance of having these people that have done it, right, that you're getting advice from, but also just to kind of check you, right, have the come to Jesus moments with you too, saying, like, don't go that way, don't do that, don't do that. Right. But why is it important to have mentors and coaches?
So all three of us have had coaches and mentors, and we continue to have these people in our lives. But it's so important because you need someone that's not only going to help guide you, they're going to look at it from a different perspective than you are. They're going to hold you accountable, and they're going to push you to your limits. I look at a coach and a mentor just like I do having a personal trainer. So when you're working out, you can go to the gym by yourself, but when it starts to hurt, you may slow down a little bit. Or if you start to get too tired, you say, okay, I've done enough, I'm sweating, and then you go home. But when you have a personal trainer or you have a coach or a mentor, they're going to push you to your full potential. Mm-hmm. So they're going to say, okay, you gave me 3 sets, give me 3 more. Mm-hmm. And after the 3rd set, you're saying, but I've done enough. No, you can do more. Yeah. And then you start to realize I can do more. And you start to see the results a lot faster. Mm-hmm. So I always, when I think of having a mentor and a coach, it's almost like working out on your own. Are you going to be able to push yourself to reach your full potential? And if you don't have it, then I really highly recommend that you get a coach and keep a mentor in your life. But if you can't push yourself to your full potential, why not have someone on your side that's going to do that for you, right, that's going to be able to help you identify what that is?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm going to add to that. So I'm going to be honest and transparent here, please, which you probably don't know any other way to be. But I was one of those people that I'm going to go take this seminar and I'm going to figure out what to do and I'm going to figure it out on my own. I'm going to go to this other seminar. And then I would never allow myself to be recruited to be coached, or because I felt like, I could do it by myself, right? And I would have to honestly say that the coaching brings about a sort of leadership that helps take your business to that next level.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
And I think sometimes we have to stop being so hard-headed about what we know in our mind as the way to do it, and be okay with someone who has greater experience, greater knowledge that can help get you to that next level, because they've already been where you're going. Mm-hmm. And I have 2 coaches, and like my business has changed tremendously in how I lead, how I manage, and just the day-to-day tasks. Mm-hmm. So I think it adds great value to your business by having a coach.
Stop being hard.
Yes. I mean, if you really think about it, Les Brown was initially our mentor about us telling our stories. And when we first met with him, it was more like, wait a minute, I'm not trying to tell all my business.
I was like, are you sure we got to go there?
He was like, I want
your backstory.
Yes. Yeah. And he was like, I want you to allow yourself to feel it and step into it. Monetize your pain. I was like, nobody need to know, right? But it was in that, his mentoring to us and his coaching to us that, like, we're in places that we had not set out for ourselves. But that's
we're here,
and here we are. Exactly. I mean, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Just really quick, if we didn't have a coach or a mentor, the 3 of us together when we did that, I don't think the book would have come about, or the one. It wouldn't be the way it is now. Mm-hmm. And like Tanasha was saying about Les Brown
and Shane,
there's a list of them that we had on our sides that were pushing us. But the thing is, all 3 of us didn't even realize what we would be able to expose and tell. And all of us were in denial. Yeah. All 3 of us. And denial about. So when it's in the book, but there was a part that, let me just tell you, let me just tell you, Tanasha told Sheila, this is your story. She said, hell, that ain't my story. Okay, so I'm guilty. So Tanasha, she was trying to tell me what my story was. She was like, what it was that I was going to speak and how it would motivate others. And I said, that's just not my story, and you don't know what my story is. And I was mad about it. I was mad that she would tell me what my story is. This is my life. Right. But then we spent like several days with Les Brown.
You're going to hurt my job.
Sorry. We spent several days with Les Brown in Florida, and the last night we went out to dinner. And I was telling someone at the dinner, it was like a huge group of us, and I'm telling them the story that it's not my story, but I'm just having a conversation. And at some point, everyone was tuned in, and they were feeling that story. And Tanasha again says, "That's your story." And when I finally accepted that, you would not believe how many lives I have touched. I get inboxes, I get women that are calling me saying, "You give me hope." I was just about to give up, and then I look at what you've been through and where you are, and I'm realizing that I can do this. And so that's the thing that I don't think I would have realized it without a coach or a mentor. Right. So I'm going to give this back to you.
I'm good.
You're good on that topic. So I just want to jump in on that because of the backstory, because I believe that's truly important. When me, I'm writing a book, and why I'm so impressed by you writing a book in 1 month is that I've been doing it for 4 months. But as I was building my business at the same time, I said I'm gonna put that in the back burner, build this, and then I'll start writing once I'm kind of more settled. But I'm probably gonna get on it.
Just do it.
I gotta do it. I gotta find the time to do it. But what I'm saying is that my book's called, well, the tagline is 17 and Pregnant to Eastside Hall of Fame.
Wait, say that again?
17 and Pregnant to Eastside Hall of Fame.
Ah.
So I was a teen mom, right? I got kicked out of 3 schools in the Eastside School District in San Jose.
Okay.
Kicked out, but for fighting, but I didn't start fights.
You just finished
But
one.
I just finished
What school?
well, three schools.
Which ones?
So Oak Grove,
Uh-huh.
James Litt,
Oh, wow.
and Yerba Buena High School.
Eastside.
Okay, so
East side,
I'm not
east side.
Pleasant and Independent.
Oh, okay.
She's Piedmont Hill.
Yeah, Santa Teresa. So we all East Side.
So then in 2000,
But that's East Side School District.
no,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
It is. Yes,
What is-
UHSP.
What is it?
Santa Teresa and Oak Grove
Santa Teresa,
are
Oak
East
Grove,
Side.
East Side.
Yes,
They
she
are.
still lives in
They're
Santa
not.
Teresa.
They weren't
Side.
They're not. No,
But
they're
they
not
are.
on the East Side, but they're in the school
They're the
district.
school district. Yes.
So sometimes Tanasha doesn't listen, but go ahead.
So then in 2015, I got inducted into their Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So
So
when
wait, into East Side Hall?
into the East Side Hall of Fame.
Wow.
In the East Side
Really?
Hall of Fame. So, but what I tell young girls and what I tell young women is that you can have a lot of problems because I wasn't the best student. I didn't get straight A's. I mean, I barely passed. I barely graduated, and I crossed the stage pregnant.
Wow.
So if I can be 17 and pregnant, get kicked out of 3 schools, and then be invited to be in their Hall of Fame in 2015, anybody can do it. So this is the story I shared for young girls.
Oh,
But that's why your backstory is so important. And I realize that when I tell this story to young women, they are like, you know, they're engaged and they're like, oh, I can do it. You motivated me to do something. I felt like my life was done. I felt like I could accomplish anything. But after they hear that story, they feel, okay, I can get back up and I can do it. Right? So the backstory is so important. So we talked about fear. We talked about mentorship, a sisterhood. What I want to also talk about is kind of when you have, somebody touched on it a little bit too, the haters or the people that are constantly, you know, giving you negative feedback, or they always have something to say, right? Either phone call, email, or to your face. The naysayers. Do any of you have a story that you can share about a naysayer, or something that, or the way you block them out, or the way you deal with them?
I don't have haters.
Everybody loves it. Everybody loves content.
No, but really, I mean, the reason why I say that is because I don't give a life. So if I do, I got so much going on in my life, so much goodness, so much positivity that who cares what anybody thinks? Look at what I'm doing. Look at my beautiful family. Look at where I'm going. I don't care about other people. I stay focused on what's right, and what's good, and what's positive.
Yeah, you definitely can't let someone else determine your value or your worth, right? And you are constantly, and it, you know, she said she don't have hate. She got a couple of them. They inbox me.
Right.
Like, don't be hating on my girl. But one of the things is, I know for me, there was a time in which I had gone to a real estate seminar, and I had just started out part-time, and I wanted to know what did it take to be a successful agent part-time. And in the room of 200 people, and the gentleman says, he's on the panel, he's a broker, he's successful. He says, oh, you'll never be successful. I don't hire part-time people. I don't think that you can do it, right? And so for me, I'm kind of a fighter. A nice fighter, as my grandma says, nice, nasty fighter. And I was like,
say I'm nasty.
So I was like, oh, wait a minute. He said I couldn't do it. Yes, I can, you know. And so my goal was, one, I wanted to be successful anyway, right? But then once I got to the point where I was able to prove someone wrong, and not that I'm going to live my life going around proving everyone wrong, but it was to prove it to myself that I can do it. And kind of like you in school, I was not a good student. My mother had remarried, had moved me from New York to California, and I wanted to know where was the subway, why the bus stop running, what is this thing called daycare? Like, I could not.
Remember they were 60 cents?
No, I could not stand Santa Teresa High School. I was like, where's the building? Why do they walk around to these different small buildings like a college college campus because we didn't have that in New York. And so I cut school a lot, and I forged my mom's signature, and I would be hanging out at
Other than that school, right?
And East Ridge Mall, man, I used to be posing in the parking lot of East Ridge Mall.
Yeah.
You know what?
I was on the honor roll.
Yeah, okay. And she's so good. But I was being rebellious, right? And so one of the things that we like to do is we like speaking to the youth because we realize that there's so much out there that's pulling them in all types of directions. But we want them to realize that the world is theirs and they have the opportunity to be very successful. Don't waste time. You know, someone asked the other day if you could go back 5 years, would you? Or would you just move forward? And I actually said, yeah, I would actually go back 5 years. There's so much stuff that I see that I could have done differently. So the naysayers, I don't worry about them. Just
one or out the other.
Yeah, like she said, don't give it life.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, well, I can
Do you have any haters? Do you have haters?
Oh, I keep haters, but you know what?
They're not haters.
Haters are your mother.
I was in church last
And they was hating on you at church?
They were not hating on me. They were not. I got so much love and God was in the house. But let me tell you this. The pastor said, can I give you my missionary voice?
Yes, go ahead.
So the pastor was speaking. He said, and it reminds me of haters. So the devil does not work and does not target you if you are not strong in your faith. Because now you are a threat to him. So when you have naysayers and you have haters, it's because you are a threat to them. And so they see something that maybe they want and they want to break you down. But what you got to do is, like Constance said, you don't give it any energy. You don't give it any of your time. You got to push through it. And you got to be careful about sharing your dreams and your aspirations with people because they will give you so many reasons why it won't work. But all I need and all the three of us need is give us one reason. Give us one reason why we should, and that's all we need. So you can tell me 10 reasons why it's not going to work, 10 reasons why Constance and I shouldn't be business partners, or the three of us shouldn't write a book, or why we shouldn't put our business out there. But you give us one reason and why we should, and we're going to push forward. And that's the reason we have the book, because we have people saying, oh, you don't need to tell people everything. And I've had people, even on Facebook, or people call me and say, oh, I wouldn't have told my business, but I'm not you. I'm changing lives. You know, one of my tagline is real estate is my specialty, but changing lives is my passion. And when you can change someone's life, and you can tell someone that don't worry about all the things that are going wrong, but all you need to know is that next year and this year and next year will be your best year ever. You can make a difference, and you can, and here's one thing I gotta say this. One thing that I really live to believe is that nothing bad ever happens. Anything that ever seemed to be bad in my life has only done, I can look back and say, wow, God, thank you so much for what you put me through, because I wouldn't be here. If I hadn't failed, or you hadn't taken that job from me, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so for me, haters, you can hate all you want. It's not going to stop me. You can tell me one thing, you can give me all the reasons why not. But if God tells me one reason why, that's all I need.
And you know that saying that everybody says, right? What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. You don't really feel that until you get older. You really have gone through some things, right? Some serious things, and then you're like, wow. You know, even though I felt like it was the end of the world. I felt like I was crying in my bed and sobbing, and it was done. It really was a blessing in disguise. Right? It's a lesson or a blessing. A lesson or a blessing. That's all it's going to be. So what I want to do, I'm going to do things a little different. Normally, I don't get up out of my seat when I'm interviewing, but I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to prompt questions. Oh, I don't know if you can. They try. See? Okay. Maybe.
So see if we can pull up your page. Here we go, right here.
We have questions? Okay. So we do have a question. Did any of you all have a coach or a mentor? Oh, we answered that question already. Great women can do success. Amazing success. Okay. Anybody else have a question that's on right now that you'd like to ask the ladies? Let me know if anything comes in. If not, we're going to go back to questions. You guys see anything coming in?
We'll watch for questions. But so while we're waiting for questions, can I tell you this? It's a very short story.
Please.
I was pregnant with my second child, and this was back in '94. And I had this job that I was very complacent and comfortable with. And I went on my first prenatal appointment. So I went to my prenatal appointment. When I came back to work, a girlfriend at work had tears in her eyes. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "I'm not supposed to say anything, but I just disabled your account. You're being laid off." And I said, "Wow." So I had to go to my desk knowing that I'm being laid off. My supervisor wouldn't look at me. He walked away with tears in his eyes. He couldn't tell me. So another supervisor came and said, "There's a big layoff and you're being laid off." Here I am pregnant, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? So I took the severance package, got laid off, and for a whole month I looked for a job. During that month, I was sick as a dog. That was the only month I had morning sickness. And the day that my morning sickness ended, I got offered a job. And I got offered a job at this big CPA firm, making way more money than I was making, better opportunities, and even their policy. They treated me like a queen. But when I look hindsight, I wouldn't have left that company had I not been laid off. You see what I'm saying? Right. And I look back and I said, "Oh my God, God is so amazing that He said, you need to rest. I'm going to give you this month that you're sick. I'm going to let you rest. I'm not going to even allow any job opportunities to come your way." And the moment that ended, He says, "Now you've rested. You were paid the whole time you were off. Now I'm going to give you a job that you've earned, that you deserve, making more money so that you can provide for you and your family." And I said, that's why I believe nothing bad ever happens, because we always want to focus. Well, a lot of people focus on, "Oh my God, why is this happening to me?"
Right.
But you got to focus on, okay, where are we going with this? This is happening for a reason. I'm ready. I'm ready for my blessing. So where is this going to take me? Not why is it happening, but where is it taking me?
Yes. Yeah. Where is that journey going?
And then just to the point of faith, and it just reminded me of just in starting my business. And I can really honestly say the differentiator for me in success is the faith that I have in God. Is, me praying for my business, me praying for my clients, me praying when I wrote an offer, me praying for my transaction, like all of those things. God had ordered my steps, because I'm like, "God, if it's meant, open the door, just like you said. If it's not, close the door." So I pray, like when I go around, and I haven't done this here yet. We just moved into this office this week, but I used to go around the desks at the old office, and I used to pray for growth, abundance, and overflow for each one of my agents. I pray for growth, abundance, and overflow. And I believe in continuously praying, but that is the differentiator in the reason why I believe that success has happened to me. It's a God thing, because I'm no smarter than anybody else. I just believe that God has just really, but trust me, there's work behind it. I do work before 8 o'clock, and most people do all day. Right. Trust and believe. I'm grinding.
Yes.
But I'm thankful that God put these ideas in my mind. I'm thankful that He put this execution in my spirit, the spirit of execution, to be able to do those things. Because some people are just procrastinators. Some people just like to sit on their humps and just wait for things to come.
And
so I'm grateful for that.
Because stay on that part, Constance, really quick about the hustle. Just how hard you have to work, right? Hard you have to work. It's not, with me, in the morning, I'm up before work, working. I go to work, come back, and I'm working constantly to build. How hard is it? Plus juggling kids. Do you all have children?
We all
have kids. So how do you juggle all that with giving time? Because I know I struggle with it, giving time to my son, but I really make the time. You got to make that time, right? It's like got to have every day schedule in order to make things happen. So just talk about how hard you have to work.
So me being the youngest one, I look to them because all their children are grown. So they are awesome mothers.
They've been there, done that.
Been there, done it. So I can always defer to them on kind of things that they've done with their children. In fact, she's had to talk me off the ledge with my daughter. She's like, "Look, because you kind of have this ideal of perfection with your children, and so that's a whole different story. But as far as you just being an executor, you cannot let grass grow under your feet. You always have to be doing something. Even when I didn't have a lot of business, and I worked in my home office, I was always getting up every day, going in front of the computer, always getting up every day, just doing something. Even if I didn't have a deal, I was doing something referring to my business. So I was like doing a website or doing
Right.
just keeping busy and doing something. So when that business did come, I was already ready, building my infrastructure. So that's really important. You might not have an active business going on, but you're always doing something to work towards that. It's very important.
I think your why is, for her why is shown for all three of us, right? And if you really want to reach the goals that you set for yourself, always be reminded of why you're doing what you're doing. And you have to manage your time. You have to time block. And you have to stick to that schedule. There are times for me, what I usually will do is if I'm on Facebook, I have to set a timer on my phone.
Yeah, because you know,
That's a smart tip, everybody who's watching.
Yeah, and
Timer on Facebook.
put a timer on yourself because social media will pull you in and you'll find yourself ordering a new dress and get some new shoes and
Amazon is the devil for me. Oh, Amazon is the devil. Amazon Prime. Yeah.
But you have to really begin to take control of your schedule so that you can. I don't think there's any such thing as really truly having balance. Because,
Last night.
I think you just need to have harmony in the household. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, what helps me a lot is having my husband. There are times. Sometimes I get carried away. Hopefully he's not watching. But I'm like, is dinner ready? I'm on my way home.
What does he say? I am not Warren.
I think I ordered that Blue Apron for it. That's so you can easily prepare the meal, right? But I think it's important to have at least balance within the relationship, within the home, and then even your support system. There are times we were just out of town visiting my son in Tokyo. One of my sons in the military in Tokyo, and I had to text my mother-in-law. Said the youngest is coming home, and we're not there. Can you be sure and go by, make sure there are no parties going on in my house. But it's a community, right? It takes a village, right, to help you not only raise the kids but also help you with your business.
Yeah.
It's important. Yeah.
So the hustle is real. The hustle is really real. Here, one of the things that I think we all experience is that you have to use your time wisely. And so that idle time when you're sitting down doing nothing, why not get ahead? Why not research and be able to grow your business? So I think that's why sometimes when we get up and, if you can't sleep and you happen to get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, instead of just sitting there doing nothing,
We text each other.
We text.
Or watch TV,
We're texting each other. What are you doing?
Use your DVR. You can watch your shows. Set some time to watch your shows later if you want to watch them. But utilize your time wisely. I had someone tell me one time, I don't know how you're able to do all this stuff. But then when I had a conversation with them, the time that they're sitting idle and I like to say not being very productive, that's when I'm productive. When my kids were younger and they were at football practice and basketball practice, that's when I was out hustling and making money. That's when I was putting together my marketing plan. When they came home, I gave them their time. When they went to bed, and when my husband went to sleep, that's when I was back hustling. Because I'm a night person. So you find that time when you can dedicate the time to your family, but then also don't forget about yourself. And if you really love your company, you love your business and what you do, it's fun. It's not work. Yeah, it doesn't feel like work. It feels good to do what you're doing.
Okay, thank you. So I think we're almost an hour into the show, and I don't want to drag it too long, but I think people are probably having a good time watching. I know we're having a good time with the show and talking. But I just want you guys to tell me about your business, give a shout out, do some promotion to either what you're doing.
Can we talk about our book?
Please talk about
Okay, we'll talk about both.
Yeah. So where they can get it and how much it is and all that good stuff.
So Constance and I are business partners with Catalyst Real Estate. So I'm in the Sacramento office of Catalyst. Catalyst was started and Stockton by Constance back in 2010. And I came on board and started the Sacramento office, on the broker of the Sacramento office in 2014. So I kind of piggybacked on what she had because we had decided to partner, but why start something new when she had already started something that was already had a great base, that was already had the momentum and was going in the right direction. So for us, we're with Catalyst Real Estate, and we also do, and I'll let you talk more about the Carter Financial, but a fully serviced real estate company, 35 agents, about 35? about 35 agents.
And we're growing.
And growing.
Combined with Sacramento
Yeah.
and Sacramento.
And we have agents in the Bay Area, so we're servicing Northern California.
All Northern California.
All Northern California. We have agents all over. We have listings and buyers that we're taking care of all over in the Northern California region. And in addition, we also have Carter Financial. Again, Constance has started that. Carter Financial is the mortgage side of the company.
We are full service.
Full service.
A to Z.
And what's really good about working with Carter Financial, we both are loan officers. We're both licensed loan officers. And we have about now 11 loan officers that work with the Carter Financial solutions. But what's really good about that is that we're mortgage brokers. That means that instead of having just one portfolio that we offer, we have over 25 to 30 lender partners that we work with. So we can, if this scenario doesn't work, you need down payment assistance, we can help you. If you need, you have a lower score, you got a 580 score, we have a lender that we can get you a loan with. If you have a higher score and you're an elite customer or client, we can help you. But we have so many different options, and what it allows us to do is shop you around to get you whatever fits your need. And that's what I enjoy. And I even had an opportunity to go somewhere else. I'm like, why would I do that? Because now I would be able to help less people.
Mm-hmm.
So Carter Financial Solutions and Catalyst Real Estate serving Northern California. You know,
We have the best rates in service.
Yeah.
rates and service.
You
Service
can Google you, right?
well, yeah,
Google
Google
us.
us. But, you know, catalystrealestate.com and cfsmortgagegroup.com.
Somebody said she agrees. Amazon
Is
is
the
the
devil.
devil.
Lillian Bush is an Amazon shopper also. I am the broker of Intero Real Estate Services in Dublin, California, and we also have a satellite office in Tracy area where we service the entire Northern California Bay Area. I am in class. These girls have encouraged me to get my loan officer license as well. So I'm in
So many more
You
people.
guys have your loan officer?
Yeah, we have.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're brokers and loan officers.
Okay.
So we're able to help so many more people.
The other thing is, I wanted to be sure that we talk about the book, The One, which you can get on Amazon. We'll go ahead and post the link in the chat window for you so that you can get that book. It is, have you read the book yet?
No, I have not.
We're going to make sure
Yes.
that you get the one book.com.
Yes.
And we'll post it in the,
What's it about? What's our book about?
why don't you tell them that?
Well, let me just say a little bit about what our book is about. It's about overcoming obstacles, never giving up, to have your best year. Ever. So basically, we've all come from different walks of life. We all had different struggles, you know, from homelessness, abuse, divorce, health issues, bankruptcy, yeah, all of those things. And people look at us and they think, oh my gosh, they got it good, life is easy, because it looks all great, but they don't know the backstory.
Right.
You know, Batman has a backstory,
Right.
Superman has a backstory, and so we're just sharing with you all the
Right.
things that we've gone through and all the fight. Because the smoke, we still smell smoke. Like, we ain't that far from the smoke, but we don't smell it. So that's what kind of keeps us motivated, right?
Right.
We still smell that smoke from what we was going through.
You know what
Yeah.
can happen, right?
We absolutely.
Yes.
So that's what kind of keeps us focused and motivated. But the book is, again, like Sheila says, it's changed lives. It really has. And then people will call me in there and they're like, I'm reading to Tasha's part and I'm just crying. You know, or my cousin was like, I could really, I love you, cousin, but I really can relate to Sheila a lot more than I can relate to you. And that's okay, because we all have something different related for different reasons. So the book is, absolutely amazing. We put our heart and our soul into it, and there's also lessons, right?
Yes.
We also have lessons on how we've been able to overcome. So yeah, you hear the bad stuff, you hear the sad stuff, you hear all those things, but then we show you these are the steps in order to be successful, and here's how you stay there.
Awesome.
So pick up the book, The One Book,
The
gettheonebook.com.
So we got Catalyst Real Estate in Intero in Dublin, Catalyst in Sacramento, and Stockton. So ladies, I'm so grateful that you guys gave me your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This will be uploaded on iTunes, on my iTunes channel,
Awesome.
Futures Female Radio. I'll also be putting it on my YouTube channel and also on my Facebook page, socialpreneur.com, not the Socialpreneur Facebook page, and also on my website.
All
So
right.
there are 4 or 5 places that they can find the show.
Mhm.
So I'll provide it so you guys can share it.
Yes,
as
absolutely.
well.
Thank you,
And,
Lillian.
Yeah. Oh, what did you say?
We said thanks, ladies.
Oh, thank you, Lillian. You guys know Lillian?
Nope. We
Okay.
don't.
Thank you, Lillian, for watching. We appreciate everybody for watching, but also for watching the replay.
Oh yes, Therese.
Oh, is Therese on there?
Yeah.
Therese. Summer
Yes.
Street. All right.
Yes.
Yes.
And Fionn Ware, thank you for
Let's
watching.
shout out everybody who wants to say they're here. Oh, have a wonderful day, ladies. We love you,
Balana.
Therese. Thank you for watching.
Oh, Balana Aswan, thank you for watching.
Yeah, we appreciate you all, but a lot of people will be watching on the replay
I'm
later
sure,
because
yes.
we're at church or after church functions and
Right,
whatnot.
Right. And we're being heathens today. So.
So, no.
I got my prayer on this one. I like my church.
It's like, yourself.
Speak for yourself.
One.
My husband told me this last night because he goes to church on Saturday night, and he said he missed a good service. He said they were talking about purpose, and he was like, "You need to hear it." He's like, "That's what you're doing, living your purpose."
Right.
That's when I jumped in to
Yes.
start this. He was like, "You're natural on camera and talking to people. He's getting ready to be the next Stedman." He thinks.
Hey!
He's
I
like,
love
"Oh, I'm getting ready to be the next Stedman."
I
So,
love it.
Yeah, he's preparing for that.
Amen.
But
You
anyway,
gotta walk in it.
yes, I am.
Your words are prophetic.
Yes.
I can't say anything else. You said you spoke something into existence earlier, but that's even like with our office. I would say in the last 3 years, I want to have an office that's the Google of real estate. If you guys can see our office, I mean, it really is. It's like it's like the Google of real estate.
Yeah.
And I mean, but that's also just speaking and speaking and speaking because your words are life.
Yes, they are. They are. And a coach told me is to journal. You know,
Oh, yes.
kind of in the present tense, like I am a successful entrepreneur.
Yes.
I am this.
That's
I
right.
am this. Working out in the morning is what helps me
We
to have a
believe in
good
that.
day.
Yeah.
To do that, but also just speaking it, right?
Absolutely.
Saying it. So I put a challenge on I have a separate group called Fearlessly Ambitious Women. It's a group for women just to motivate them, uplift them to take action on their vision and their goals.
Wow.
And so I challenge them to go on live
Right.
and speak it. Tell us what your vision and your goal is.
Absolutely.
But put it out there. A lot of them are scared to do it, but I'm pushing them, teaching them. I'm doing it by example. I said, if I could get myself on there and I'm looking crazy, no makeup at times, I'm coming from work or coming from working out,
Yeah.
and I put it, I do a video. Right. If I'm okay with doing that, we got to do it together. So we encourage. I
Sticking to
encourage
your
them.
word.
They be talking about me because I'll be at the gym looking ugly.
And I'm on Facebook Live.
On
Yeah,
Facebook,
I've seen you. I've seen you. It's okay.
No shade.
So I'm not gonna sweat.
Right. And like unmentionable places.
Hey, also we want to shout out Selena. She told Lillian about the show, so that's good.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
You know Selena?
Selena, no.
Awesome.
She's Lillian's cousin, so that's
Oh,
good. She
okay.
told her about. I just want before we go, I want to say one last thing. You were talking about writing things down and journaling.
Yes.
Every morning, the first thing I do is write down 5 affirmations because you really do have to begin. The things that you speak, they come to life. You give them life. And so, again, what Constance was saying to you, you have to be prophetic with your word. It comes to life, for sure.
And my parting words are, you will never rise higher than how you see yourself. And if you don't see yourself being successful, if you don't believe in who you are and what you can achieve, it's not going to happen. So you have to you have to visualize yourself doing it. You have to believe in it, know it. And you would just never rise higher than how you see yourself. Don't put a cap on it.
And my parting words are, if you are willing to do what is easy, life will be hard. But if you are willing to do what is hard, life will be easy. That's T. Harv Eker. And so every day you got to put in the work. So going back to the visions and the goal setting, first thing you got to do is visualize it, write it down, speak it, work it, and then you're going to receive it. Those are the 5 steps. Trust me, every successful person has done those 5 steps and have become wildly successful because of them.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you and your support. We'll be reposting it and also sharing it on iTunes, like I said, and on YouTube and on my website, which is thesocial-preneur.com. And I just want to make a note is that I spelled preneur wrong on purpose, just in case anybody catches that, because somebody had that name. So I changed it because I wanted to. It was my vision. So anyway, thank you all for being on. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
The
you.
one,
Thank
Constance, Masha, and Sheila. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having us on.
All right. Here we go. And broadcast. Bye, y'all.
Give up.
Hey, people.